Hello everyone, checking in here, just going to do the big three and just going to look at the short term for now. Over this weekend, we'll be doing an alts video, and I'm also going to look at the longer term aspect of things. But right now, just a quick video as I head out the door. So Bitcoin daily chart still very bullish, and you can make the argument that this is a bull flag currently forming. We have the higher low pattern still in place, 75.02, 78.03, and now 79, and we're up right at the all-time high trying to test it as we broke the lower high pattern over the last few days. So the Bitcoin bulls are right here, and just patiently waiting for that all-time high. We had another dip with a huge bounce. The bulls are just waiting to buy these dips, and we're seeing it in Ethereum and Bitcoin right now, where we have 7,900 and we bounced up to 83.24, a $424 bounce in just about 8 hours or so. So a very significant bounce, keeping the bulls in control. If you want to zoom in and find shorter term support levels, we're looking down here at 81.76, and resistance is up here at 82.98 and 83.24. So very tight here. If I were looking at the shortest term range right now, it would be 82.05 support and 82.98 resistance. So a $93 range that we're currently trading within over the last 6 hours. And we're looking for a break of that to give us some short-term direction. So the bulls are still hanging on strong. One thing I want to point out about the correlation, just reflecting on this correlation more, because we're always watching what the correlation is with Bitcoin and the other big three. And you'll notice a lot of people complaining that when Bitcoin goes up, the other two go down, and then when Bitcoin goes down, it takes the other two down with it. Obviously, that's not the case with Ethereum currently breaking out, but just an observation that I've noticed, it's not bullish or bearish action that is dictating these correlations. It's volatility, in my opinion. So when Bitcoin volatility spikes, that's when we see shifts in the correlation. When it's a volatility spike to the downside, the other two names see downside correlation. When it's a volatility spike to the upside, we see a pattern where bulls leave the other names. And again, this is not referring to the last 2 days because of the Ethereum breakout, but we see the correlation where the other two names have people sell off to get into the Bitcoin all-time highs. So the fact that Bitcoin is so close to all-time highs, when we see a volatility spike favoring the bulls, people leave other coins to head to Bitcoin. And again, like I said, when we see that dump, we know that other names see downside dump as well. So there are scenarios that when volatility picks up for Bitcoin, no matter which direction it's in, because we're right near these all-time highs, it acts as a potential negative reaction to Ethereum and Litecoin. So that's just something over the past few weeks that we've been noticing, but ever since Ethereum broke out, it's been doing its own thing. Another beautiful day to be trading in this sector. The gains just continue to come in. If you're holding long, you're happy. If you're trading and locking things in, you are happy. So right now we're watching those levels for Bitcoin. We'll see which breaks here overnight. And Ethereum, just a rocket ship to the upside. And that daily chart is on absolute fire. And a huge move. We're looking at 500 psychological. It looks like the bulls just have their heads down and they got their sights set on that 500 psychological level. The 4-hour time frame, very overbought, but again, blue sky breakout doesn't matter much. We haven't consolidated in a while. Our breakout that we've seen, we've only seen 3 green candlesticks and then consolidation. Now we've got another little 4 candlesticks. We did see a bit of brief consolidation, but just want to be cautious that we might be in for a bit of a pullback on the 4-hour time frame. Of course, right now we're in blue sky breakout at the all-time high, so it's all bulls right now. We're looking at 475 and 480 resistance, and we know that Bitcoin likes to pull back from those nice round psychological resistance numbers, so we'll be cautious of the same thing at Ethereum at 500. When the top of this move is hit, we will see a pretty easy 10 to 20% pullback, in my opinion. So again, just want to be cautious of that and protect if we are in trading positions, not so much if we are in long-term positions, much more comfortable now that we have the all-time highs riding out long-term positions. So I do want to specify that I do have some long-term positions that I don't touch that aren't in my trading account. I've got a bit of Ethereum stashed away, and then everything that we get at the Chart Guys in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum payments for courses and membership and things like that, we're not touching that as well. That's all going into the vault for the long run. So definitely enjoying the bull moves. How I've been trading this, earlier today I made a trade here, and when I'm entering with my full stack on the way up, and we have to keep in mind that, you know, depending on our position size and our trading strategy, everybody's different. I do not suggest that everybody follow my trading style, because I'm just capturing moves here and locking in my gain for the day and then going at it again the next day. I'm not trying to get, you know, every single possible dollar. There are times where I hit my limits on the day and I see the bulls are still in control, and I'm fine shutting it down and going out and hiking in the woods and not worrying about any open positions or anything like that. So I captured a scalp here on ETH this morning, and again, just a, you know, $5 to $7 move, which is a significant amount of profit for me if I just continue to reinvest profits, which I've been doing for the last 6 months. So we had a bull move and I exited at 438. And at that point, I entered Litecoin because I liked the Litecoin setup and I got a $2.50 move on Litecoin. And, had I just held Ethereum, likely would have been roughly the same kind of gains. And now that we're hitting higher highs, had I held it the whole time, would have had more money. But again, that's not the way that I'm looking at things. And I had a question of, people wondering what would my gains be if I had just bought and held. And at this point, I just calculated it today. I'm up about 930%. I don't care if you believe me. I'm not going to show you proof. Some people believe me, some people don't. That's fine. Either way, that 930%, if I just bought and held Bitcoin back in May, we wouldn't be at 930% right now. And we wouldn't be at 930% on any of these coins with, actually, Ethereum is probably pushing pretty close. But either way, I'm having fun trading and I'm going to keep trading. So that's where we stand. So Ethereum, our most recent support level established on the 15-minute time frame is 456.50. And other than that, we've got 447.21. So as long as we keep these higher lows going, the bulls are just fine. If we want to see the hourly time frame, key supports, look at that hourly inside bar bull break. Nice signal there for a new all-time high. And that's why I just entered again, actually, right before I hit record on this video. Entered when this lower high broke at 464. I had an average because I had to buy market at about 466, 467. And I just sold in the 472s for, again, just tacking on another $5 win. And every single day this week, the amount of trades adding up have been a week maker. I call those a week maker because they're not just a day maker. They're significant enough that, I could not make another dollar for the rest of the week, and that's perfectly fine. And the opportunity that we have with these bulls out over the last few weeks is really reminiscent of what we had back in the summer. So really nice to see that opportunity again. Attention's going to be on Litecoin now, and Litecoin has not broken out yet. It's a bit of a We've seen some breakouts, but it's a bit of a laggard here. Obviously, ETH has all the attention right now. But you look at Litecoin and the daily chart, and it's still bullish as well. We don't have a ton of resistance at all. In my opinion, when we see Ethereum consolidate, we absolutely could be watching for Litecoin to take its turn. I do believe that the market is going to shift its focus to Litecoin, and we saw that same thing happen where this bull break at the all-time highs. There were certainly some tweets by Charlie Lee that helped things go along, but it was really, we saw Bitcoin all-time highs, Ethereum all-time highs, and then Litecoin got all-time highs as well. This breakout really started at the end of August. Let's see what Ethereum was doing back at the end of August. So here's August. We had the bull move and didn't get that all-time high. So we set a lower high and started pulling back, and Litecoin, meanwhile, was going insane and hitting all-time highs at that same time. So I do look to Litecoin, and I do believe the market will as well. Keep your eyes on it. There have been some nice trades. The trade that I made for the move today, the $2.50 move, I got in at 74 here, and I got in because of this lower high 15-minute pattern breaking. Lower highs, lower lows, and I liked the risk to reward in Litecoin better than Ethereum just because we had been running so hard. And as soon as we broke this level, I started scaling in at 74, and then we had this bull move and started selling right here in the upper 76s. So just locked in those gains. The hourly time frame definitely still favoring the bulls. Here we are testing our high of today, 76.69 is about to be tested, and if we get a bull break, we're looking up at 77 and 77.96 for the potential of these bulls to break out. We see the 4-hour time frame. After 77.96, we don't have resistance besides psychological levels until all the way up at 82.25. So again, we're in a very beneficial position. The only reason we're not breaking out on Litecoin right now, in my opinion, is because the Ethereum bulls are not done just yet. They are still running extremely strong, and we will see Ethereum top out in the near-term future. I'm going to be watching the correlation very close, because if we see pullback with Litecoin on Ethereum's pullback, which I don't believe we will, but if we do, obviously, then we're not going to be looking to play Litecoin. Once we do see the top form, a temporary top, we're going to see a more significant high volume pullback than we've seen yet at this point. There will still be a bull trade to be had there. We will dump, and there will be one last surge of people looking to buy the dip, and there will be a nice dump. Look for the 5-minute RSI to get oversold. The first time this 5-minute RSI gets oversold, I do believe we will get a really nice bounce, and we almost had it here. We bounced off of the low 30s, and that was a really nice entry point for going forward. So the first 5-minute oversold pullback that we get on Ethereum, I will be looking for the bulls to buy that dip. I personally would not be looking to hold that position to look for all-time highs. You certainly could, and set your stop loss at break even. And that's really been a nice trade strategy for Ethereum, where you enter a position, and if you want to set your stop loss to break even and see if we can run, to new all-time highs and up to 500, there's absolutely no harm in that, and you're completely protected, which is an ideal scenario. So that's a situation where if we're playing a 5-minute oversold bounce, the first one that we're going to get from the all-time high, I do like an entry, and I do like a lower high forming from that point. The bear volume on the 5-minute time frame is going to indicate when we are turning around, and it will also be combined with a lower high and a lower low on the hourly time frame. So if this hourly time frame here, we had the all-time high, low of the pullback, tightening range. If we had a bear break here and broke this low of 447.21, I would be fine saying, yep, that's our high for the night at least, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. But that's what we're looking for on the hourly time frame, and the fact that the bulls just made this new all-time high, we have a lot of wiggle room with where our last high or low was, which was down at 457. So that's where we stand. Again, it's just all bulls. There's nothing to say bearish about this market right now. Every single time we hit a new all-time high with more space in between the trading, it disregards the bubble talk, in my opinion. You know, if we were shooting up, still continuing strong from May without these long periods of consolidation and 20% pullbacks in Bitcoin, it would be a different story. But every time we see a significant pullback and significant buying of the dip, we are seeing the bulls really establishing themselves and proving that they are here to stay. Doesn't mean we're going to go up forever, but it does mean that we're not going to pop and drop 80%, in my opinion, like some people are speculating could happen. So that's where we stand. Ethereum has all the attention into tomorrow until we lose the hourly higher low pattern. That will be the case, and I will shift my attention to Litecoin, but certainly not forgetting Bitcoin. If we see an all-time high, then that is where funds are going to funnel. So let's see that right now. A pullback on the 5-minute time frame for Bitcoin, not really seeing that on Ethereum, and not really seeing that on Litecoin. So that's a great sign for the bulls that we're not correlating with this little 15-minute dump on Bitcoin right now. So that's where we stand. Again, keep an eye out for the alts video. I'm going to take requests from members. Still got that Black Friday deal going. We're hiring an additional developer to work on the alert system full time, and really loving the amount of positive feedback that we're getting. So we're just really going to gun for it and go full time, add as many coins and exchanges and features and indicators as we can, and continue the fun. That's the bottom line. If you're not having fun doing this, you shouldn't be doing it. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.